What it do? I just picked what I think is not necessarily the greatest team ever on paper. This is from 2000s onwards now, guys. Bear in mind, 2000s onwards. Nothing below 2000s, just because it just gets too much about semantics there. So a player must be in the primes within the 2000s. Okay, so if they are past the prime within the 2000s, it does not count. Okay, so this is very very important here. Just in case people are wondering why I have some players in certain areas and others I don't. Okay, sorry, why I have some players in my squad and other players haven't made it. So we're gonna start with my keeper, right? And I'll tell you my potential subs as well. My keeper is Ikas Casillas. For me, I know there's Buffon and there's Peter. I don't even know what There's Casillas and you know De Gea is definitely one of the greatest of all times. I think there's just a lot of great. Peter Cech in his prime was insane. Um, so, but for me, at the absolute prime for me, it'd be between Casillas and Peter Cech, man. Peter Cech was I don't think people remember that too well. But Casillas was a god as well. So for me, it's between those two, and I just started with Casillas just because he's my favorite keeper of all time. It doesn't make too much of a difference against any team these guys play against. It really doesn't make much of a difference. My team is more practical than just big names. Practicality is important. I'll explain my tactics and why I think they could beat any potential team. Okay, Casillas, you know, he cool, great shot stopper, tactical awareness, very smart player. Rio Ferdinand on the left back, I think he has good enough mobility. Um, on the left back, it wouldn't make too much of a difference to him. I think he has enough pace as well in his prime that as the left center back, he's not the paciest. It's really not that important for him to be that pacey, to be honest. All he needs to do is get his tackles off. And if he gets beat, company has him covered. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I know I was gonna go with a 4-4-3 or 4-4-2, but I just couldn't sacrifice that much on my midfield and attack because I believe they're the most important parts on the pitch. But I just made sure that I have the most solid people I could find in the back line. So I think Ferdinand at his prime was ultra solid, ultra quick, and that's why I think he'd be able to handle that position on the kind of left center backish role. Company in the center, bro. People are praising Van Dijk for his numbers this year. If you look at Company's prime numbers, they're absolutely insane, out of this world. And as a result, Company has to be my center back. I put him over John Terry just because of a few things. I think he's a better passer than John Terry. I think John Terry is a better defender. But I think Company is a better passer, and I need my defenders to be able to play the ball a little bit. So that's the reason why tactically I picked Company and Ferdinand, and of course Sergio Ramos. Now he was started off as a right back, so he already has that natural quality. Insane in the air, great quality with the ball on his feet, true leader. In fact, just if he wasn't because of Zidane, he would be my captain in this team. If it was not because of Zidane, he would be my captain in this team. So Ramos, there, I don't think I need to make too much of a case for him. To be honest, even in recent years, we can tell how amazing this guy is. Like he's literally one of the greatest centre backs of all time, or just defenders of all time. Period. Okay. If I did go for four, I would have Cafu and maybe Ashley Cole in the team, but I just had to. I had to sacrifice in my backline a little bit, but it's okay because it'd be very hard to get to the back line because we have this man, the machine, the beast of a human being called Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira in his prime was almost unstoppable. That man was insane. His passing ability, his technical ability, he's a very intelligent player. And for me, one of the key important things to make my team is you have to be an top intelligent player, and I only really want intelligent players on my team. And this is it's gonna be very important when I talk about my team tactics. Okay, Xavi, of course, one of the smartest players with the ball. I know I could have went with Iniesta, but I genuinely didn't want a player that be running forward too much. Iniesta attacks very often. Just his play style doesn't necessarily suit my team at its best. I like players like Zidane and Vieira and Xavi together. Just the real industrial midfielders, and I really wanted to have an industrial midfielder. I didn't want somebody doing fancy tricks and dribbling past three, four players. I want somebody that gets the ball, gives the ball, gets the ball, gives the ball. That's why I picked Xavi, Vieira, and Zidane. Three absolute geniuses with the ball on the feet. So, Xavi's a one-touch guy. Easy. Ronaldinho. Now, Ronaldinho, come on. Like, guys. This man can dribble past anything. Anything. Why I said no to Iniesta mainly is because I already have Ronaldinho. I can't have two dudes in the midfield just not in the midfield. Ronaldinho has the free reins here to attack, and he's just again he's amazing. Dude can pass, shoot from any at his prime. He can shoot from the halfway line. That's how crazy he was. You know, with Xavi, I actually struggled between him and Beckham just because I was thinking crossing wise. But I switched up my attacking tree because I felt like F crosses. These guys with the ball on the feet can do anything on the planet. So Ronaldinho for me is just a perfect fit. He's the guy with the crazy tricks in the midfield, and he has Zidane next to him, Xavi next to him. He has Patrick Vieira next to him. It's probably the most intelligent midfield in the history of intelligent midfields. Ronaldinho is probably the craziest dude in there. He's the only wild card that I put in there just to give a bit of pizzazz, because the fans need something beautiful to watch when my team tears apart any other team in the history of teams from 2000s. But to be honest, I think they could probably tear apart any team in the history of teams. But I rest my case. But okay, then obviously CAM for me has to be Zizou, the number 10. He's the perfect number 10, the perfect industrial number 10 for me. He can his intelligence alone is just off the chain. His dribbling ability, his passing ability, his dribbling ability, his work ethic. This is why I have the three of these guys here, because I feel like Xavi, Vieira, and Zidane are all willing to defend a lot more than Ronaldinho, and that's why I felt like only having one player that's that style is worth the risk. Ronaldinho will his attacking is just so good that it's worth everything. Now my attacking tree. I mean, I don't really need to explain too much here, I don't think. But just in case people be questioning me, I know people be thinking, why isn't Ibrahimovic there? Why isn't Raul there? Why isn't the original Fat Ronaldo there? Blah, 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 blah. Shut up, mate. Shut up, Fat Ronaldo is nothing to CR7. Fat Ronaldo is nothing to Messi. And Thierry Henry. I'm just going to start with Thierry Henry just because a lot of people might not realize this. Before Ronaldo and Messi came along, this guy was leading Europe top goal scorer for like I don't know how many years. For literally almost the first decade, he was Europe's leading top goal scorer. This man, you know what I mean? This guy literally for like 10 solid years was like the leading top goal scorer in Europe. He was just killing everybody. He was just tearing it apart for so long. And his speed. What's important for me in attack is pace, passing ability, intelligence, headers, and shooting. Right? I did not need every single player to have this. Prime Ronaldo is fast as hell. Prime Messi is fast as hell. Prime Thierry Henry is fast as hell. Just imagine this. Let me just give you this crazy scenario here. Just crazy scenario. Casillas throws out the ball to Ramos. Ramos finds Patrick Vieira. Vieira finds Xavi. Xavi finds Zidane. Ronaldinho's making a run. Passes to Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho dribbles past four players just because he can. Because he can. He doesn't need to, but because he can. Right? Ronaldinho then passes it to Messi. Messi passes it to Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry crosses it or passes it to CR7. CR7 finishes. Come on. In fact, I could skip a lot of those steps because I could just go Ramos to Vieira, Vieira to Xavi, Xavi to Zidane. Zidane can just hoof it any direction and these pacey motherfuckers will find it and catch it and do something with it. I mean, literally, Zidane can close his eyes and just, boom, aim it, somewhere forward. I swear to God, somewhere forward. CR7 is fast enough, he'll get there. If he's not, Messi will get there. If he's not, Thierry will get there. No matter which side he passes it, we can just hoop, as long as he dips past the defender, one of these is going to get it. Now, I know my attack is a little just a 10. Nah, it's not even weak in the air because CR7. Because see, you can have Messi and CR7 interchange depending on the tactics required. Do you get me? If we need a lot of crosses, it's actually handy to have CR7 where he is because he can sneak behind the defenders a lot easier. You know what I mean? And the intelligence of Thierry Henry, again, I keep talking about intelligence here because football IQ is extremely important when creating one of these teams because you need these guys to be able to mesh immediately. You don't want players where, oh shit, I'm talking about stylistic. All my players stylistically complement each other. You know what I mean? Ronaldinho is the only crazy guy here that'll try all fancy shit. CR7, it depends on your version of Prime CR7. If it's Man United CR7, then him and Ronaldinho will be the two crazy guys. If it's more industrial Real Madrid goal scoring machine, which is actually the version that I want in my team, I do not need the CR7 from Man United. I don't need him for free kicks. I have Messi. I don't need him for anything else. I just need him for headers and goals. That's it. I do not need him to dribble. I do not need him to do anything except score goals. He does not even have to walk. All he has to do is walk towards the goal. Nothing else. I don't need him to defend. I don't need him to do nothing. I don't need him to work hard. I just need him to be there, header, be there, shoot, be there, score. That's it. But obviously, the bonus of having United CR7 is he can shoot from anywhere. But I don't really mind whichever one I have, to be honest. Both of them are lethal. But yeah, I'll take the Real Madrid CR7 just because I think his aerial threat is much more important than his free kick and others and dribbling. I don't think he needs those. I think because my forwards are a little bit on the short side, I think CR7, I have to go with the Real Madrid one because in the air, this guy is probably the most lethal player we've ever seen in the air, like, of all time. Like, literally, dude is insane. Dude is more lethal in the air than Peter Crouch, man. I don't know how that makes sense, but this guy is that lethal in the air, bro. I don't think anybody has scored that many goals in the air, so I almost put Drogba in just because I wanted somebody lethal in the air, but I was like, damn it, I got CR7, so I don't need nobody else. So CR7 is there just for that air, man. Like, air, it's just everything, really. CR7 and Messi. Come on. Messi, for me, is the CF. He's the false 9. That was his best position, I think, ever when he scored, he scored 90 goals in a season. He was playing CF under Pep Guardiola. That is why I need him there. CF, false 9. He has intelligent players around him like Zidane, like Ronaldinho, like Xavi, like Thierry Henry, like Ronaldo. So the thing is, he can literally go through defenders. He can dribble past anybody. And Thierry Henry and Cristiano Ronaldo are so intelligent that they'll make the perfect run 99.9% of the time. And Messi is so intelligent with the ball that he'll give the ball to them 99.9% of the time. Do you see this? Zidane, again, so intelligent, 99.99% of the time he's going to find his men. Xavi, so intelligent, the same numbers. Vieira, so intelligent, the same number. Ronaldinho is probably the least in terms of like doing stuff like that. Is probably the least intelligent player, but I think he's worth it is because he can dribble past anybody and he can shoot from anywhere. Free kick takers, for me, easy. Long free kick, Ronaldinho. Prime Ronaldinho, long free kicks all day. All day, no doubt at all. You know what I mean? Short free kicks, Messi all day. No questions, no arguments, nothing at all. Who's going to take my corners? Ronaldinho's going to take one corner, and maybe Xavi's going to take the other corner. It doesn't really matter. Because in the air, all I need is CR7, Ferdinand, and Ramos. So maybe even Copa, whichever. You know what I mean? And that's it, bro. Vieira, Jesus. How could I forget Vieira? So it's easy work for me. I think it's easy work for me. And my team just functions. I think that's the key important thing here. That a lot of people, when they make these dream teams, they just throw out the best names they can find. Ibrahim, Neymar, and this. But it's like, yo, they can't. Can they play together? That's the important thing. That's what I wanted to answer. I know Messi and Ronaldo can play together just because they play so differently that it's effective. You know what I mean? And I could even have Thierry Henry in the center, of Messi to the right wing. But I think Messi's strongest position is CF. I think Thierry Henry is also super crazy at CF. But I'd like to get more use of Messi here. So I'd sacrifice Thierry Henry just a little bit. And he has enough pace to be a winger anyway. He has enough passing accuracy. And just enough intelligence overall. And my team captain, like I stated, has to be Zinedine Zidane. He's going to be leading this Galactico team. This is the ultimate, like the greatest team of all time, in my opinion, without even me needing the Peles and the Maradonas. Now imagine if I had Pele and Maradona. Like, I just bench Xavi, put Pele there. You know what I mean? And what would I do? Hey, Maradona, I don't know if Maradona can even make this team, bro, because I wouldn't need him. I got Messi. You know what I mean? They're similar type players, except I think Messi's more prolific. So, bam, that's it. That would be my team. But even then, I probably keep Xavi because I don't really need anybody else. Zidane for me is just untouchable. You know what I mean? So for me, this would be the team that I think. And again, this is just to be clear. Again, it's 2000s plus. Because when you go to the 90s, 80s, it's just too much semantics. Too much semantics. Do not pick a player that was not in his prime in his 2000 in the 2000s. Just don't do that. It gets too crazy. So again, this is the team that I would go for here. CR7, left wing forward. Messi, CF. Thierry Henry, right wing forward. You know what I mean? Or you can even say left striker, right striker, whatever. Right? When they can move in and out, they shape in and out. Zinedine Zidane, CAM. That's that cam position. Ronaldinho left mid. Xavi right center mid. So it's not a perfect center. Like, you know, a lot of teams would have like, it's not like a perfect like a perfect, you know, 4-4-3-4-3. You know what I mean? It's a little jagged. It's a little crooked to one side because Ronaldinho isn't left center mid, but he's left mid, and Xavi isn't right mid. He's right center mid. Because Zidane can, if for defending, Zidane can push to the right side a little more to help out whatever side needs it, and obviously Vieira is here to cover the wing backs. Since there are no wing backs, you know what I mean, in the center. So it really depends. So tactically, let's say a team is it's attacking me on the on Xavi's side. So Xavi obviously pushes, if the first person that's supposed to contest that is Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry is going to contest that, and Zidane is going to be helping behind him. Xavi is going to be staying back a little bit with Vieira and Ramos because I want to protect that back line a lot. There's only three of them. Now, the three great dudes that ain't barely anybody's going to go past, but I want them protected at all costs, right? So you have them three back there. So Zidane, Thierry Henry is the first line of first person to go attack that winger, right? And if he fails, Xavi's there to cover him. If he fails, Vieira's there to cover him. And if when Vieira moves out of position, so I misspoke about Zidane earlier. Vieira moves out of position, Zidane drops into that CDM. Zidane is very tactical; he can do that. Zidane drops to that CDM, so now we have Xavi and Vieira on the right side, right? And you have Zizou back here. And it's okay to leave that left side a little bit open. It's okay because you know it's pressing football. I want high press. I want my team to be very pressing, right? And then Ramos is still here, so there's no way that player is getting through. That would be how I'd be defending there. Ramos would be kind of staying more central and allow Xavi and Vieira to almost play on that wing back position, and Zidane will fall down to that Vieira side. And Zidane being there is great for counter attack as well. If we win the ball, you give it to Zidane. Ronaldinho on that left pivot side will be completely free. 100% free. CR7 will be free. Messi will come where Zidane was, right? So you see what I mean? So Messi would come in as a center attacking mid. Zidane will come in as a CDM. Vieira will kind of push in a little bit, and Xavi will be pushing in a little bit, and Ronaldinho will push in just a little bit as well. And that's essentially how we play on all sides. So if they're attacking the left side where Ronaldinho is, it's the same thing. So Ronaldinho and CR7. CR7 doesn't need to, but just for the sake of tactics, CR7 will be the first line of defense. He'll press a little bit. I don't expect him to press too much. He press a little bit. Then Ronaldinho will press. And then again, Vieira and Zidane drops back into that CDM, and Messi drops into that CAM. And then Thierry Henry and CR7 are like two strikers. And they're not in the center position, though. They're kind of like, maybe Thierry Henry will push in the center, drag a defender somewhere. They're very smart players. They can figure that out themselves. They can mess around with the defenders here, but we basically, when we're defending, we change into, let me see, 4. Yeah, we essentially, we're still a 3, but I say tree, a 3-4-1-2. That's what we change it to. A 3-4-1-1-2 when we're defending. So we go from 3-4-3, or you can say 3-4-1-2, but we go from that. Say a 3-4-3. We change into 3-4-1-2. You know what I mean? That's what we change it to when we're defending. So that's, and if we're defending to the middle, Ronaldinho and Xavi, well, they don't need to squeeze in too much, but they squeeze in just a little bit. Just a little bit, to help Vieira out. but Zidane will be the first line of defense. So he'll be dropping into that CM position, and Vieira will be dropping into almost like a sweeper position in pivot position in front of the back line. To get me, so Zizou will be a first line of defense. Boom, if he gets knocked down, Xavi is there to help, and Vieira is there to help. You know what I mean? So we just got the whole tactical thing on point. And attacking wise, again, honestly, do we even need a tactic? To be honest, just give any one of these guys the ball, they can figure it out. But that would be what I would go with. Let me know what your best 11 would be. Not necessarily best 11, but you have to tell me tactically as well. Don't just throw out Ibrahimovic and say on paper Ibrahimovic is better than Thierry Henry, although I don't think he is. But let's just, just for argument's sake, don't give me, oh, Ibra on paper is better, so Ibra, or you know what I mean, Iniesta on paper is better is Iniesta. You have to tell me how they work together and how tactically that works for you. So my backline for me, again, Ramos can pass the ball, Ferdinand can pass the ball, Company can too, but not, I don't think quite as well as Ramos. I think Ramos is the best passer there, and Company solid in the air, solid on the ground, tactical awareness. He can also pass the ball. Ferdinand, fast, rapid, tall, and he can pass the ball, and that's very important for my backline. So for me, passing the ball, but also fundamental defending. So these are industrial passing defenders, and that was very important for me. Keeper, I don't have too much of a tactical reason. I just like Casillas a lot. But him or Peter Cech, interchangeable for me. That's okay. Vieira, again, tactical, just to repeat again, tactically, Vieira is just an intelligent passer, very good defensively, super strong, fast, and he pass the ball. Xavi, he's very slow, 100%. I'm okay with that because I need him to dictate the tempo in my midfield. Him and Zidane's role is to dictate the tempo. So Xavi can slow down the game when we needed to, and he's very quick at releasing the ball, so he doesn't need to run fast. Ronaldinho, he's very volatile. He's very explosive on the ball, and that just creates a different dynamic. He can change the game very rapidly as well, and he can pass the ball. He can shoot the ball. He can cross the ball. There's really nothing he can't do. So that's why he's pivotal there in my midfield, and I feel like him getting fed by Zidane and Vieira and Xavi, it just leaves him free. It leaves him more free. That's the person I want to be the most free in my midfield is Ronaldinho. That's why I have these industrial guys with him to kind of cover him when he goes on attacking. When Ronaldinho goes up, we can have Vieira stay where he is. Zidane can push kind of into that left center mid position, and Ronaldinho can do whatever he wants. Messi can drop back to that camp position to pick up the ball, and Ronaldinho can go off. CR7 can push into that center forward position. Thierry Henry can free roam around on the right side. So you see what I mean. So we can switch it around very easily with these players, and that's why I picked them. So again, like I said, Messi can go to that center attacking mid. Zidane can go to that left center mid. Ronaldinho could go to Ronaldo's position. Ronaldo can push into that center, and you have a completely different dynamic, and it works. And that is why I picked this team. So let me know why you pick a team and tell me good, solid reasons, please. And that's really it, man. Thanks for listening. It's been your boy Supreme Uchiha, the God. Peace out.